Can I farm diamonds? This is a question I have whenever I start every mod pack. Whether it is making a machine, using mods in ways they weren't supposed to be, or breaking the fabric of space and time to generate diamonds. Within the mod pack, there's a create add-on called Cobblemon Industrialized. The add-on allows you to automate the creation of Pokeballs using the create mod. The process is similar for each one, but requires different items depending on which one you want to make. So as an example, to automate the standard Pokeball, you put a red apricot under a press to create the red ball lid, then use an iron sheet on a sawmill to create 6 iron ball bases, and then use a deployer to put them all together and add a copper nugget to it, and then boom, you have yourself a nice shiny Pokeball. So I have a way to automate Pokeballs. So what? Well, automating them is not the part I'm interested in. It's the cost effectiveness of automating them. Let me explain. The cost to make 4 Pokeballs in a crafting table is 4 apricots and 1 copper ingot. But the automated cost is 4 apricots and 4 copper nuggets instead of a whole ingot. The only downside now is it costs 1 iron ingot, a pretty hefty downside when considering it only shaves off 5 copper nuggets. But how does this help me farm diamonds, I hear you ask? Well, this mod pack also includes probably my favorite item to abuse, the Uncrafter. The Uncrafter comes from the Twilight Forest mod and does as the name suggests. You put items into it and it gives you back the materials used to craft it. So if I put 4 Pokeballs in, we get 4 apricots and more importantly, 1 copper ingot. And if we used our automated Pokeballs, we would have gained those 5 copper nuggets. Now that we have this information, let's get us some diamonds. You know how I said each Pokeball has a different recipe? Well, there are 2 Pokeballs that use a diamond in its recipe. They are the Dream Ball and the Beast Ball. The Dream Ball gives a 4 times higher capture rate on sleeping Pokemon, and the Beast Ball grants a 1.5 times higher capture rate on Ultra Beast. But as you may have already guessed, we do not care about that. We want to get the diamonds from them. So we got to figure out which one is the cheapest, and then we can figure out how to automate the whole process. In a crafting table, a beast ball requires 4 copper ingots, 4 echo shards, and 1 diamond. But if we use the create method, it replaces the cost of the diamond with 1 brass nugget. The dream ball, on the other hand, is made with 1 red apricot, 1 blue apricot, 2 pink apricots, and then 1 diamond in the center. The create method replaces the diamond with 1 brass nugget as before, but also replaces red and pink apricots for red and pink dye. On paper, we have a clear winner, but there is one thing about the beast ball that makes it special and takes its place over the dream ball as the ideal candidate. When making Pokeballs, pressing an apricot will create only 1 lid. This isn't an issue for a basic Pokeball because you use all 4 apricots to make 4 lids and then you have an equal exchange. But with the Dream Ball, we need to make 4 blue lids and then make additional materials to create the dye for the Pokeballs. We could use the apricots to make dye, but this still would bring a total cost of 4 blue apricots, 1 iron ingot, 4 pink apricots or pink dye, and 4 red apricots or red dye, with a return of 1 diamond and a loss of 3 blue, 3 red, and 2 pink apricots. The Beast Ball, however, is made by pressing a gold ingot into a sheet, using a deployer to give it an echo shard, then the base, and then the brass nugget. But it is when the sheet and the echo shard meet that makes this process all come together. Instead of creating 1 lid, it instead will create 2 lids. So if we use the 4 gold and 4 echo shards as before and combine them together with the brass ingot, we're able to get 8 beast balls. And putting those 8 beast balls into an uncrafter yields us 4 gold, 4 echo shards, and 1 diamond. Since we get 4 gold and 4 echo shards back, we can put those back into the machine at 0 cost. And then we can do the process over and over again indefinitely. Look, we have successfully made our first diamond of many. I can see it now. Me swimming through diamonds like Scrooge McDuck. But before I get there though, we do have 1 giant elephant in the room. Oh, get out! The brass nugget and the base lids. We need to make both of them renewable before we can even dream of having infinite diamonds. But before I do, if you are enjoying this video and want to see more, please do consider subscribing and leaving a like. It helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you want to see more content like this. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. Now, back to what I was saying. I will start with the base lids because I feel like those will be a lot easier to get than brass. So to make base lids, we need iron. And I won't be using an iron golem farm because 1, I hate handling villagers, and 2, I know with these mods there has to be a way of getting iron faster. Well, actually, I know there is a way of getting iron faster, because I've been working on the design since after the Clink video, because honestly I was pretty disappointed with how big it was compared to how much it yielded. I just needed the right moment to show it off, and honestly I found just that here. Now the design does have two forms. The first form uses Tinker's Construct. Tinker's Construct, when a mob is inside a smelter, it will produce specific items. In the case of zombies, it produces iron. The only issue is when a mob is inside of the smelter, it also takes damage. So we need an infinite supply of zombies. Well, lucky for us, Mojang added that to Minecraft forever ago. We find ourselves a spawner, clear out the area, make a smelter, and voila, infinite iron. All you have to do is make sure the spawner is outside of the smelter, and you're good to go. The zombies, once they spawn, will fall into the smelter, giving you infinite iron. There are more improvements to this design, but I'll cover them once I go over the second form. I personally think the second form is more superior anyways, so let me go ahead and cover it now. The second form of this farm requires Tinker's Construct as before, but also a mod called Supplementaries. You see, Supplementaries add spikes, and those spikes can be given potion effects, and you see, zombies are healed by potions of instant damage. And wouldn't you know, there is a spike with instant damage in supplementaries. So if you just take a couple zombies from their homes, slap them into a small smelter with spikes of instant damage, they constantly get stabbed on repeat and producing you iron non-stop. There is zero downtime with this, and honestly it produces iron pretty fast. There is also one other bonus to this. On top of getting infinite iron, you do get permanent tinnitus. This farm also does work for gold and copper, using either zombie piglins or drowns respectively. Now, for those improvements I was talking about. With the create mod, we can fully automate the extraction process of the iron. Use deployers to activate the faucet, which then lowers the iron into the casting basin below. Once the iron cools, it automatically gets pushed into a hopper. And then from there, you just turn the iron into lids and then boom. That is now the iron part of this farm done. And just for a little bit more information, with just 4 zombies, this farm can produce a full block of iron in just 20 seconds, which gives us about 1600 iron in an hour. Oh, one more thing before we're done with the iron. So the smelter requires fuel, because when damaging a mob, it does consume fuel. So we will have to find a way to get infinite fuel. Lucky for me, if we create an identical one of these farms, but put in a blaze spawner, we can then create something called blazing blood. All that matters is that blazing blood is a fuel source. Since we are using a spawner, we are able to produce more blazing blood than the smelter can consume in fuel. So by setting up a system like this, we can bring the blazing blood from the drain and split it into both the smelter fuel and a storage for excess fuel. We can then take that excess fuel anywhere else we want, including the zombie farm. Whew. And now we are done with iron, meaning now we can get to the final piece of the puzzle. Brass. Brass is created by mixing copper and zinc. Copper we have covered with either a drowned torture farm or by bulk haunting iron. But zinc is tricky on the other hand. Is what I would say if I wasn't going to abuse the holy grail of this project. The uncrafter. So in Create, there's an item called andesite alloy. It is crafted with 2 andesite and 2 of either iron nuggets or zinc nuggets. But you can also create andesite alloy by putting 1 andesite and 1 iron or zinc nugget into a mixer. Once they get mixed up, they create an andesite alloy. If we take an andesite alloy and put it into an uncrafter, it will always give us back the full cost of 2 nuggets and 2 andesite. So by using this method, we can produce an additional zinc and andesite for free. Now, I do say free with an asterisk. To use the uncrafter, you must pay XP, but setting up an XP farm is so easy, so I haven't mentioned it till now. And since it doesn't break the law of equivalent exchange, I won't have shadow demons taking my arm and shit, so that's a win. And now of all that, we can go ahead and slap all these parts together and make ourselves a diamond farm. And just to recap, we start with 4 gold and 4 echo shards. We start producing infinite fuel, and then produce infinite iron. Turn some of the iron into Pokeball bases, and then some more into copper. Then use equivalent exchange to turn 1 zinc and 1 andesite into chest loads of each. Then we mix copper and zinc to make brass, and then brass nuggets. Slap them all into an assembly line. Gold gets pressed into a plate, combined with an echo shard to make lids, mix the lid, base, and brass nugget all together to make beast balls, and then uncraft them all to make 4 gold, 4 echo shards, 1 diamond. Keep the diamond and throw the gold and echo shards back into the machine, and repeat. And just like that, we can swim in our diamonds, just like Scrooge. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you enjoyed the video, please do consider subscribing. I hope you have a wonderful day.